So tonight for dinner, I'm making stir fry. It just stopped, but a second ago the fire alarm was going off because of the hot oil in the wok. So we'll see how that goes. But I got this meat at Winco. It looked really good, and it was on sale. So we're gonna make a stir fry with this and some vegetables. And I got like some udon noodles at Costco. But I don't like the sauce and veg packet that came with them, so I'm going to use the rest of them up for this. Just going to get that started and then finish cutting up all these mushrooms. Okay, it's about halfway cooked, so I'm going to put in the mushrooms, because I like my mushrooms to be very cooked. And that'll help with getting them there. And then I am thawing some broccoli and cauliflower in the microwave, because I have ADHD, and if I have fresh ones, I will forget, so I get them frozen. And this is a can of drained bean sprouts, drained baby corn, drained can of water chestnuts, a second can of drained water chestnuts, because I'm a whore for these things, mostly thawed broccoli and cauliflower. The microwave doesn't do so well on ice. And then I turn up the heat again and mix this together, hopefully. The meat still has not finished cooking, which is okay, because we have to cook the vegetables down and get rid of some of the water that's in here from the various canned vegetables. I drain them as best as I can, but yeah, what can you do? Right. Oops. So we'll let that sit for a minute. Actually, I think I'll put on some of my spices now. We're going to do some pepper, some salt. This is onion powder. I can't stand the texture of garlic or onions, so I use them in dehydrated powdered form. Garlic powder. Cat. Mustard powder, just a little bit. Rice vinegar, also just a little bit. I put in oyster sauce. It's a two-handed affair, so I couldn't record it while I was putting it in. Normally I put in some of this Mr. Yoshida's, but mine is expired, so I'm going to see if it's actually any good still. Okay, I didn't see any mold in the bottle. Sometimes when it's gone bad, it'll mold, so I'm going to try... Sorry, I had to sneeze. I'm going to try a little bit of it that I poured out on a plate and see if it tastes alright. Yeah, it tastes fine. It might be a little bit sweeter. It is it's a fermented product. It's soy sauce based, so it should be fine to eat still. It only expired in June. I'm gonna put in that much. I was at the Portland airport a couple weeks ago, and they had an advert up for Mr. Yoshida's, which I was surprised about, because not a lot of people that I know of know about it. I actually learned about it from a family of Vietnamese immigrants who use it for their cooking. But they had an ad up, and it appeared that Mr. Yoshida, or at least the company, is based out of Portland, which I thought was interesting because I'm from, not Portland, but a couple hours south, and I live in Utah now. But I had no idea that it was local to Oregon, which just makes me love it more because I miss Oregon. But I get it at Costco in the larger container because I go through it normally pretty quickly, but I've been out of town a good deal of the year this year. So now I'm going to turn up the heat a bit because there's quite a lot of liquid in there, and I want that liquid to cook down into a sauce. I bought these cooking chopsticks at the Asian grocer. I don't normally actually use cooking chopsticks. I just use regular eating chopsticks like a heathen to cook with. But I bought them because they had little fish on them, and I thought that was pretty cute. And they are stainless steel, so they can go into the dishwasher without a problem. I have a habit of accidentally breaking my plastic ones in the dishwasher. It's cooked down a little bit, but I'm going to add the udon in now so that the noodles can absorb some of the liquid as well. These noodles are intended to kind of be microwaved in water to cook. So I'm hoping that putting them into this pot, or wok, I keep calling it a pot because there's so much liquid in here. I'm hoping putting them in this wok with the liquid will cook them the same way and also absorb some of the extra liquid because there's way too much liquid compared to how big my wok is. This is kind of outrageous, but it's my own fault for putting all the ice from the broccoli and cauliflower in here. I have this little thing for my dishwasher so I know what the status of the dishes are without opening it. And so it's dirty, running, clean, and empty. And I think that's funny that it has an empty option, as though my dishwasher will ever be empty. As somebody with ADHD, the moment I empty my dishwasher because I've put the clean dishes away, I am already putting the dirty dishes in it that have been building up over the past few days while the dishwasher was clean or plugged in, ready to be run, and I forgot to put the dishes away, and therefore dirty ones have been piling up. So it is always just on dirty or clean. I don't even bother putting it to running because I can see that it's running. The lights are all lit up. I found this little bit of mushroom that fell on the floor when I was cutting the mushrooms earlier, so I'm going to put it in here and see if my isopods will eat it. They have been ignoring that carrot that I gave them, so maybe they're not hungry, but I know on my camera I can't see it from up here where my eyes are because the pot's covering it, but with my camera down there, there is a pretzel on the stove as well that I will throw out. Just kidding, I gave the pretzel to the isopods as well. Alright, it's starting to look more like a bubbling sauce and less like a pot of old dishwasher. Stir it around a bit. Udon noodles are not really for stir frying. I mean, half the time you don't even eat them with the soup on them anyway. You just dip them in the soup to eat. But that is what I have at the moment, so that is what I am using for this. And I think another 5 minutes, and that should have boiled down more into a thicker sauce rather than a liquid. So while that cooks down, I'm going to make myself some tea for the rest of the night. This is the Thai tea that I like, and I need to buy more because I'm almost out. I completely ignore the instructions here. I use these little tea bags for it. For a while, I was just putting the loose leaves into my little jar and letting them boil with that, but then that meant that I had to get a second container to put it in, and then coffee filter, and it was a big messy process. So now I use these, and they just have like a little bit that opens, and you put your tea in there, and then you turn it around, and it'll make it a tea bag. I'll show you in a second. Alright, so I've put the tea in there, and then my countertop is so dirty and needs clean. But you just take this bit here, it goes up and around and over the top, and it does this. It folds over, and then that keeps the majority of the tea inside of that little container. I just poked it and some came out, but oh boy. In general, it's really good at this. Alright, now I microwave that for 3 minutes, not because it actually matters how long it microwaves sits for. 4 will burn the least, I know that much. But because that's enough to get that amount of water kind of boiling, and then I forget about it for about 20 minutes or so, and by that time it's perfectly brewed. Or at least it is for me. Alright, spilling the leaves gave me an excuse to wipe that surface off, so I did that. Back over here, I think we are good for me to turn the heat off. Give it another stir, and then I will let it set enough to cool down that I can eat, which will also help with that sauce development there. And then, obviously, I'm not going to eat all of this. Currently, I technically live on my own, so there's a lot of food. So what I don't eat, I'm going to portion into little glass containers, little reusable containers, and put them in my fridge and or freezer for later. Alright, the Thai tea is steeped. And then to remove it, you just grab the little bit, shake it out a bit, because Thai tea, or at least the type I buy, has yellow number 5 in it, and I don't want it staining my floor. And I just realized that there's no bag in the trash bag. 1 second. Okay, that's how ADHD works. I went outside to take the old trash bag out to the can, because it goes out tomorrow, and that way I didn't have the meat and vegetable trimmings in my house, and then I forgot to put a new bag in, so there's that. This I bought, so normally I put half and half in here. Traditionally you would use like whole milk or half and half, or condensed sweetened milk. I want to see if this would be any good in it, because I quite like the taste of coconut, and I think it'd be good in Thai tea. Normally I buy this by the can in the alcohol aisle, but storing the whole can in the fridge didn't seem very good. I felt like it would go bad before I could use it. So I bought this, even though it was like $1 more. Don't know really how much to put in. It says 1 serving is 2 fluid ounces, and that's 240 calories, which is, that's a lot of calories. So I'm just going to put like that much in, maybe a little bit more. Okay, and then I'll stir it. I quite like pina coladas simply because I love the taste of coconut, but I hate the texture of coconut. Story of my life with most everything. I have ARFID, which is Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder, which is an eating disorder characterized by texture. It's basically autism sensories taken to the next level, and I think that is actually mixed in pretty well. The color has definitely changed. I'm hoping I don't need to put sugar in with this, but I do still have some sugar I can. See if it tastes any good. Oh, wow, yeah, that is still pretty bitter. It needs some sugar. So this is something new, also new, that I bought, because I'm not supposed to have sugar, or white sugar at least, because it triggers my migraines. So I bought some of this to put in my tea, so that hopefully I'm not eating as much sugar as I was. I don't really know how much of this to put in to make it sweet. That's a horrible noise. But it does seem like it dissolves faster than sugar does. Okay, that's sweet now. I think it still needs some milk, though. Alright, this is just half and half. Or fat-free half and half, which is technically not even half and half. It's skim milk with... what do they put in it to thicken it? Corn syrup. But it had less sugar than regular half and half, so that's why I got that one. Now I need to use another butter knife, because I already put the spoon that I was just using and the butter knife I was just using into the sink, so now they are dirty, and I can't just rinse them off, because I have to have them sanitized in the dishwasher. I have too many mental disorders to keep track of, and it is not very fun living like this. Yeah, that's the right taste. You know, I say I'm not supposed to have sugars, and then I read on the coconut that it's got 45 grams per 2 fluid ounces. So that's great. That means I can't really have it very often, or at least not on days where I really need to function. I put some more coconut in because the coconut flavor wasn't really coming through very strong. Oh yeah, now it's got coconut flavor. Oh yeah. That's pretty good. Alright, it's now cooked down enough to make it into more of a sauce. Stir it one last time before I serve it, just so that everything's evenly distributed. Alright. Got my favorite chicken bowl here. As if I only have one of these, I have, I think, like 8 right now. I've had these bowls since I was a child, but whenever I see them at a thrift store, I buy them because I am very autistic, and these are really the only bowls I'll use. I mean, I will eat out of other bowls, but I don't like it. It changes the way my food tastes, and I don't like that. So, I buy them whenever I see them at thrift stores, and I don't even know if I have any of the original ones from my childhood anymore. It could be that they all broke years ago, but either way, these are what I eat out of. Trying to get an even mix of vegetables and meat and stuff in here because the rest of it's going to go into the fridge or freezer for later. And I don't really like it when the last of it is just pasta, and then later down the line I have a bowl of just flavored pasta. But I also want enough vegetables for tonight. So I think that's a good amount. That looks pretty good. It tasted alright. I already ate some earlier while I was waiting for it to cool because I have no patience. So yeah, that is what is for dinner. Is this stir fry that I made with different chopsticks than my eating chopsticks because I'm not that much of a heathen. Oh, look at that. My dishwasher is already full again, even though I just emptied it earlier today. Nope, I have eating chopsticks. We have forks, big spoons, little spoons, with this one that I can't decide if it's a little spoon or if it's a big spoon because it's smaller than the big ones but bigger than the little ones. So it just goes in whichever spoons have less spoons. We have butter knives, chopsticks, scissors. Can't believe there's actually 3 pairs in here. There's technically supposed to be 4, but I can't believe there's already 3. And then my secret stash of plastic utensils for when the executive dysfunction gets so bad that I have no dishes, which is more often than I'd like to admit. This big thing of Thai tea, which will last me the next 2 or 3 hours while I play video games. So yeah, dinner.